You good? Alright. Welcome to the Lab Podcast. I think it's episode 3. Episode 3. Oh, that's not a Lab Podcast anymore. In the Lab. Episode 3.
Yeah, get it fucking right.
Sorry. Damn,
Labcast. Oh, I can't swear?
No, you can swear. You know, I actually missed something. And so Spotify asked you to, like, select whether there's profanity or not. And I missed. Ethan said fuck one time. It was in the lips, the lips one. But I missed it. And then so I put it as like regular, like it's like fine.
No.
Yeah, but it was we said it one time because I personally try not to just because I say it a lot. So if I try to say none, I just like limit it myself. Mm-hmm. But I forgot that was you can swear, it doesn't matter. But
all right, sick.
Yeah, so I don't know if Spotify's not gonna be happy about it if they hear it later on. But there is one F word in the Ethan episode.
You know what? 1 out of like 3,000 words.
Okay. It's okay. I just didn't want to re-upload it, so I kept it in. But I realized it after when I watched the clips, and it was like Ethan was just like, "Yeah, they're talking about my fucking lips." I'm like, "Oh, whoops."
Oh, there's our first swear word.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, no, I wasn't the first. That was Dan. Anyways, we have 2 special guests, 2 very beautiful, very handsome lab members joining us today. We have graphic design is my passion, Mr. Jackie.
Hello.
And we have room for 2.
Oh my god.
Room for 3 on this couch, actually.
One more maybe.
Producer extraordinaire and director extraordinaire, Mr. Daniel Song. You don't like me saying your guppy though, don't you?
Yeah, shorten it.
What do you mean?
The streets can't know.
The one, the top of them all.
Daniel
Song.
he's not number 1.
Yeah.
There's another one. Another one as a bit. Okay, so for context, there's a lot of Koreans in Toronto. There's a lot of Koreans named Daniel Song apparently in Toronto.
It's only 2, I think.
No, I know one more past you guys, but there's 2 main ones in the creative circle basically. And as a bit, well, I've known Dan for way longer, but as a bit for the other one, I just call him the real Daniel Song with number 1, and I say he's number 2.
Yo,
So,
they
you're
say it
always
so
number
much.
2.
Honestly, at this point, it's like kind of
You
true.
believe it? No,
It's true.
No, now I feel bad. I
No,
don't. feel bad.
it's true.
Yeah. No. Okay. Actually, now I actually feel bad. Okay. All right. So, I mean, honestly, for this panel, I feel like for the lab podcast and things like that, I wanted at least to talk through all the lab members at least once because I think it's important to just see, kind of how all the members are and their personalities in lab and things like that. But also, I think what makes lab really unique is that every person in there has. Like we're multidisciplinary, so there's like some people do audio, some people do producing in music and in video, some people direct, some people do social media and things like that. So everyone has their own skill set and things like that. So everyone has their own perspective on creative arts and their craft and things like that. So it's really important, I think, it's really good to be able to talk to everyone in lab individually or together, So that's why I have these guys on. So yeah, honestly, how did we meet? First, I met you before lab started, briefly, and then I met you at lab basically, or during lab when it started, formally, really.
Yeah, formally. Our very first meeting was when you were speaking for Coven.
Yeah, that Coven
Cause.
event. Yeah, Cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was DJing for him that event. Yeah, that's where I met everyone basically, most people. Honestly, that event, I was just so focused on like DJing / spinning. I didn't really. That night was actually really like important. Like everyone was there in terms of like the people we work with now, basically. All the lab members are there, essentially. So it was. Looking back at that night now, I'm like, oh shit! Like I really wasn't paying attention to what was happening.
It was like Coven's whole network.
Yeah.
It's like 30,000 people.
No, there was not 30,000.
It's like a Bible
there
story.
was like 5.
All lining up for like fish.
So yeah, I mean that's sort of where I met Dan. It was our mutual was Ethan Lowe. I don't know how you guys met.
Do you want me to talk about it right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Oh yeah. So I met Ethan through a mutual friend. Shout out Tyler, by the way.
Oh, Waterloo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyler went to school with Ethan, and I just knew Tyler through like high school like goonery. But then I remember like hanging out with him one day, and I just told him like, "Yo, I'm like producing, like I'm looking for artists to work with," and he just connected us.
Okay.
We became lovers for a little bit.
Oh, damn. Wait, I thought I was lovers with him.
No.
Oh, now I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I'm the rebound.
What's new?
But I was the original too. How does that work?
open relationship.
Okay, I see.
Damn, he's Gemini. Two sides no one knows.
Damn, you managed to sneak one in. Off track now. Yeah. Okay. So, and then he, I guess, talking to Ethan, talking about like creatives and specifically producers in Toronto as well. And then so he introduced me to Dan through there. So that's how we knew each other. And then Jackie was through when Lab was first created. That's when I met him formally for the first time. How did you and Coven meet initially?
So I'm sure you would have heard of it already. It was through in Markham we had like a YMCA Teens Night.
Oh yeah.
So every Saturday YMCA would open it up to youth like free from like 8 to 11 or some shit. And you would see Coven around even if you didn't know him or didn't want to know him. You got to know him or knew of him at least on Facebook. You see him photos with like Lewis and stuff with Ryan, and you just got to see his name around. And he was that one guy that like, at least at the gym, that would come up to me and try to like talk to me and introduce himself. And that just went on for like during like our YMCA timeline. But after that, like after a certain age, you can't really go there anymore. But
Why?
I think it's just capped at like 18 or 19.
Oh, so it's like
it's
actual youth.
Yeah, for
Okay,
high
okay,
schoolers.
okay.
So
Okay, I see.
but I kept in contact with him after, like even after that. So Facebook, he would hit me up like, "Yo, you trying to go out and like, I don't know, like go see shisha or some shit?" And that was like our meetings.
Okay.
Like maybe like once a year, we would go do that and just catch up on things. And at first, just began off as very casual stuff. We would talk about like we were just complain about our like girlfriends at the time, but that was like our like, bonding moment.
Okay. And then how did he approach you on like joining Lab and stuff? I guess this question goes for both of you, but we'll start with you first.
Yeah, this is actually like kind of like a deeper moment for me.
Okay.
So
Let's get into it. Fuck it.
Yeah, let's go.
So this like during COVID,
Okay.
2020. That's when I got expelled from my program.
Uni
Yeah, so
okay.
I was studying graphic design at York Sheridan, and then after I got expelled, I kind of just took that time to myself to just like recollect myself. And one day when I was in the middle of like recollecting, I messaged Coven. I'm like, yo, I've been feeling really down, but this is my plan. This is what I want to achieve, and I just thought that I wanted to let you know. And then like, thank you. And then like 3 months down the line, I'm working at Joey's. I just started working there for like maybe a month or two, and then he hits me up, hey, I'm doing this social media thing, social media marketing, and I want you to help me. Would you be down to like, just see what we do? Or I guess just him. And then this is where I started like taking photos for Fuafua at the time. And so I would do promotional assets for them, take photos. And I got to a point where he was like, Jackie, it seems like this is like something that you really want to pursue. How about you quit Joey's and do this full time with me?
Lab. Or his
Social media
marketing. Oh,
marketing.
social media
So-
marketing. Okay.
My startup lab, I see that as a startup lab because lab started in his office between me and him.
Oh,
And
I didn't
that's-
know that actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we didn't have any vision of this yet. So we were just doing social media marketing. And he gave me my first lab card, and it was proper.
Uh-huh.
So, and then down the line, he's like, let's get an office.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
This office.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were like going around. He would like, send me listings, and we'd go like visit listings
Dang.
together.
Okay.
And we like settled on this one. And then we started doing renovations and stuff. But he got it really quick. So like I thought he was gonna just rent or something, but no, this guy like I bought it. I'm like, wait, I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk, but yeah.
No, I had a pretty different. I didn't know that was a timeline specifically, but I know when he bought it because I was helping him set up the studio,
Yeah.
the music studio we have inside there. So I guess it was at the same time.
Yeah,
Well,
around all the
yeah.
same time.
Okay.
But then, yeah, this is his vision. He was like, "Oh, I want a music studio here. Like, I want this to be like a studio for photos. Like, it's gonna happen." And it was like a really endearing process to see from like, just be a part of his journey, and like how much trust he put into me. And I really felt like we were both building something when it was just us two. So we moved from his like home office up until here, and we would go to IKEA trips, and he would ask for opinions for like wall colors and stuff like that. And it got to a point where like, okay, let's bring some people in, and that's where I met you guys.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he brought you, Dan, Ryan, and I brought Paul.
Paul. Oh, you brought Paul. Okay.
Actually,
well,
he asked me. Oh, he was very interested in bringing Paul in.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, you know what? Paul would be a really good person to bring in.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
I think he's the last guy we haven't talked to past you guys. So after
Yeah.
you two, Paul's the last one. Yeah,
Yeah,
he couldn't make it here.
let's keep it that way.
Well, he couldn't.
No, just kidding.
Maybe I should just leave you two. Apparently, you guys have beef. Just let you two. I won't be here to host it.
Yeah, he's actually bad.
Paul will be the host and answer his own questions.
He just by himself. He's like, yeah. So I'm the last one. Henry left me some questions.
He's just monologue.
That would be so funny. Oh wow! I didn't know that was like the beginning of the timeline. Beginning of that's pretty interesting, actually. Okay, so I mean, honestly, working with you two in lab for the first year or so. I mean, we've been working together for like 3 or so years now, but within the first year, I feel like the boys got really close, like really fast.
Surprisingly, but that is like
Yeah.
the boys.
Surprisingly, you think?
The boys effect.
Oh, that's true. You can connect on anything.
Wait, what's the boys effect?
It's like, you know how like we're in school and like even if you're like, it's so easy for boys to make friends.
Oh,
yeah, it is easy.
Oh,
We
you have
just
the same
talk about
classes?
anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about
Okay.
anything. Sports,
Yeah.
interests, things like that. But I mean, it works for us specifically because it's like our interest is the reason why we're together in the first place, which is like in the creative scene in Toronto, things like that, working on projects together.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we got close really fast, and honestly, I wasn't too surprised because I expected. I mean, we're there to work and get things done. We're all on the same page. But what was surprising was, I think beyond just like being colleagues, or like being in the same collective and things like that, I think we got like really close, just like personally for us.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I didn't really expect that part. I didn't expect to like make like lifelong friends like past that. So it's really dope to be able to work with you guys.
Damn, you're so sweet, bro.
Oh, thanks, man.
So sentimental.
Do I not express this usually?
No,
Oh,
you're usually so mean.
I'm not that. Come on, I'm not that mean.
Man, you fake as fuck.
No, no. And when the camera's on, that's why I'm nice.
Yeah, that's true.
Your camera's off. He's Nippon, man.
No, we can't bring Nippon Man on the pod. Nah, he's not allowed. He's banned. I mean, so we can kind of dive into what you guys individually do. So you do music production specifically.
Yeah, that's my main thing. But usually I like to do.
You kind of are good at everything, to be honest.
Thanks, bro. Man, you're actually really sweet.
Okay, I've said that to you though. I've actually said that to you.
Thanks, bro. No, I think I have a lot of interest in like a lot of different fields and a lot of different places, and sometimes it's just like time limitation that doesn't let you go and like deep dive into all of them.
Yeah.
But I would say my main focus is like music production or just music in general.
Mm-hmm.
Directing is like definitely like a secondary thing.
Yeah, you're pretty correct at it.
Thanks, bro.
And whether it be like the J Isaiah live was the first thing you directed, I believe.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's our best live to date still.
Thank you.
That as
Thank you.
as a lab project. And then you did the last Buddha Bomb one.
Yeah, I
The
did
one
the
that
last
just
Boot
dropped.
Bomb one. Yeah.
That was, so I was in Japan at the time actually when it happened. So the
Yeah.
timelines were actually really messed up in my head, but like you really pulled that together, from what I understand.
Hey, man, stuff gotta happen.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think with the music, with the effects, the VFX, everything, the shots, it was like really cool as a Buddha Bomb commercial.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so do you enjoy, I mean, you enjoy everything, but what do you really want to do? What are you passionate about? What is the end goal, sort of like vision for you?
Man, the end goal, like all this stuff is just with like art and creative expression and everything. The main reason why it exists in the first place, like in humanity, is so then we can communicate with each other. So then we can, really connect with one another. And I think it helps people like kind of find a reason to like, get up in the morning or to want to do the things that they do, to just be out and be there and be understood, to be seen, to feel like there's actually people that are like them. Like I said, like this is all the reason why art exists in the first place.
Okay. How about you, Jackie? For I mean, you do graphic design specifically. You go to school for it as well currently. What do you think like Was that where you're really passionate? Graphic design is my passion. I'm sorry, such a mean, but you're actually really cracked at it. You're really good. You do
Facts.
like a lot of my SoundCloud flips and covers and things like that. I specifically go to Jackie to put them together, and he has like we specifically do the collage kind of style for those, but like you're really cracked in it. You do marketing, branding, like everything basically. So, where do you really find your passion for it, or your liking or aptitude for it in the first place?
I think my core values of, I guess my also like purpose in life, like, you know, I think we've also mentioned it before about when that movie, the anime movie, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Damn.
So one of the questions that were asked during it was, what is your purpose in life?
Yes.
Or in living? And
Remember that scene.
their answer was to form bonds, to like make those bonds and like strengthen them. And I really resonate with that because I'm a people pleaser, or I like helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really translates in my mentality and how I treat people and how I want to just want my work to and also embody. So that people pleasing aspect would be like in tune with user experience. How would they perceive this work? How my designs be easier to read? I think about all those things. So it's not really just like at the end of how nice it looks, but whether it can speak to the person or kind of give them some kind of like feeling.
Oh wow, interesting. I mean, wow. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is so sad. I can't believe you formulated all that off that movie. Dude, I cried during that. It was actually
Yo, I know exactly what moment you cried too.
yeah.
It's like, okay, you can cry now.
yeah, damn. I mean, if that really will put him into perspective for you, I guess, for your mentality. Jeez. I mean, is that at the end of the day, like, for us to, I think I kind of repeated this in the beginning of the podcast, but what's really cool is that you have like these sort of different mentalities, creative mentalities, people from different fields, like coming together and like working on a project together and bringing so many different skill sets, things that I am like, maybe is like some of my own weaknesses, or maybe like uplifting some of my own strengths and things like that. Everyone brings a really unique take and like skill to the table. And I think that's what makes Lab like so unique, is that we're able to like harness everyone's like strengths and mitigate the weaknesses, and you create some really awesome projects. As I mean, if you guys haven't seen already, I think it's a really good chance to go look at some of the lives, some of the commercials we've done. Like, I think they've all had mostly different directors for them, so you can see the very different directions that people went with it, different vibes and things like that, different inspirations. So I think that's something really interesting about you guys as well. So what are you guys working on right now, mostly, as your own? I feel like I haven't caught up with some of you guys in a minute. So
for me, the music thing has taken a little bit of a hiatus, at least with like the old or like the current name that I have. Working on like kind of a rebrand, trying to change my sound, change kind of like the creative mission that I want to go for. I feel like I outgrew like the old stuff, and I want to, you know, move forward into stuff that feels more honest and feels more like stuff that like I really enjoy.
yeah, like you see yourself doing.
Yeah. I think for the other stuff, it's kind of like I feel like I was limiting myself because there was like fear. You know, I was afraid to like be my truest self.
Do you think that fear stemmed from success in a way, like sort of having to live up to that expectation? Because like Room for Two, Ethan mentioned this on his podcast, where like that was both of yours first really big break, right?
Right.
And playlisted on Spotify, millions of plays. Like I can understand like where that expectation comes from. So do you feel like that was sort of like the thing holding you back?
In a way, there was like kind of pressure of like, oh yeah, you have to like make the numbers because you know, at a first glance, like numbers speak more than anything. And being able to reach that consistently is just like,
it is tough.
So difficult.
It is tough,
So
especially what we
difficult.
understood at the time was like we didn't really utilize social media at all for the marketing, and we kind of just assumed that you just make music and then it'll do well.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
oh, I got playlists. I'll get playlists again. You know, like sort of idea. So
Yeah, exactly. It was a whole lot of like pandering to playlists and all, but you know, now you can do that with like you know, with like TikTok and like Instagram and like, you know, just taking full advantage of those things. So yeah, there was definitely pressure on like the numbers side, but I think the thing that was most not hurtful, but the most like confusing to me was just like, oh, I'm making music that feels kind of like surface level and it's getting like this amount of traction. What if I put out like my heart and soul into something and it just doesn't, you know, gain any traction? Does that just mean that I'm like worthless? Does that just mean that I have no value?
Yeah, it hurts the ego.
It hurts the ego a lot. Yeah. So yeah, that was something that was definitely like a big struggle.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I think one of the most not really underappreciated aspect of really good art is that the artist really puts themselves into it. Like they kind of show like a very vulnerable side of them, whether it be vocalists, producers, anything. Like the artists that I really listen to, they put a lot of themselves and their emotions into it, and you don't really think about how vulnerable they are in that moment. Because when people are like, "Yeah, this song sucks," you're like, "Oh
yeah,
man,
it like cuts deep.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, it hurts a little extra because you really put everything of yourself into it, and then people don't like it, and you're like, oh."
Yeah, they're like saying directly like, "Yo, I don't fuck with you."
Yeah,
like,
they're not necessarily saying that directly, but it feels that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I completely understand. So I guess like sort of rebranding and packaging it all together is sort of like you reinventing yourself, like wanting to put yourself back into the world.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like I had to like destroy my own ego and then rebuild it back up again, and I did that a couple times over. But it got to the point where it's just like, yo, like just gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know, can't keep waiting around. Can't wait for the perfect moment because there's no such thing.
Yep.
You know, just do it.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're really passionate about it, you'll do it no matter what. Yeah. So like, I say I make music because I just want to put music out there that I want to listen to, and I just don't necessarily think that music is out there, so I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's like the Rick Rubin idea, where it's like, oh, if there's an idea that exists, then it will come into existence, but it's up to whoever's, you know, at that place at that time to put it in where it is.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just like, you know, we're longing for, you know, types of music or even art that we want to see.
Yeah.
Just make it.
Put it out there in the world, man.
Just
that's great advice. How about you, Jackie? What are you working on right now?
So I'm still in school.
Right.
So
That's probably taking up most of your time.
I mean, I could have graduated this year, but I just chose not to because I wanted to still balance my work life as well. Especially since Dan and I are working on like opening a matcha store, right? So this is my first like really big project of being involved from the design process from ground zero to store opening. So which is why I made this decision to just like lessen the load on school and leave room open for this and alongside lab. So other than the matcha store, continuing to do like concert stuff with Colvin and Ethan.
Your concert photography is actually really, and videography. I guess you're mostly shooting video for them. Or
yes,
when you're out there.
Yeah, because we usually have like Amanda doing like photos already.
Yeah,
so
it's a whole team.
Their TikTok content.
Yeah.
I'm doing video.
I mean, I think your concert photography and videography is really impressive because I think one thing that is missing from some of these things, like when you see like the concert replays stuff, it's just like a static camera and like it just plays a show. Like there's nothing crazy. And then the ones I do see of recaps is like you're in that most often than not is just phone footage, you know? Yeah. And you just see the guy performing maybe from like backside the stage, maybe the DJ's like recording something, but it doesn't feel like you're really in there. But when I see your footage, it's like, wow, I'm like basically there, you know? I think that's a really cool way that you do it specifically. So what are you really thinking about when you're on stage and recording and things like that?
So this is something that I'm only able to do because of lab, because that Ethan, you, and Coven are usually like the one bringing me on. Therefore, like their opening act, it kind of gives me a more like sense of authority that I'm able to go ham, get the angles, and you know what, be in there like swimwear.
Okay.
So like if that means that it kind of like I skipped that stage of like fright of, oh shit, am I like too close to them? Should I not be here? Like, will they mind if I'm on stage? But because it's someone that I knew that was performing, I'm like, yo, they trust me, and ultimately they want a good video. So if this is what I need to do to get the clip, I'm gonna do it. And that's why when it comes to headliners or people like just, I'm not familiar with, I already have that kind of confidence.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I think, well, beyond you just being really good at your job, I know through that opportunity, I don't know if you want to do it more yourself, just like for people outside of lab or performing like Coven, Ethan, me. I know you got, when I performed DJ Hyo, their team also asked you to record that day. Was that because they saw your stuff beforehand, or it was just like it was recommended?
Yeah, it was just recommended by Abby. They were looking for someone to do it as well. And Coven asked me, or Abby asked Coven went to me.
Okay.
And I'm like, though this would really put me, like, drain me of energy, because the very next day we had a Loblaw shoot, right?
Yeah.
But I thought about it. I'm like, this is a really good opportunity. Like, when else am I going to be able to shoot a Girls' Generation member?
Yep.
Right? And even though it's like a 24-hour turnaround, I'm like, you know what? This is worth it. Like, as long that I set like a really strict like timeline of like, oh, I sleep by like 4, I'll still get like 4 hours for Loblaws, and it won't jeopardize my performance at Loblaws, then I can do it. And it turned out well. They still haven't posted it, but I'm like, what's going on?
Okay. Well, I mean, that's up to them.
Yeah.
I'm sure the footage is great. Is this something you want to do more in the future? Because I remember we had conversations about you like, I kind of want to go into concert photography and videography and things like that.
Yeah. So in many like ways, lab has been such a good opportunity for me, because I was like reflecting in my car like ride like maybe like 2 weeks ago. I was like driving back, and I'm thinking, wow, like I remember like even like 5-6 years ago, I would be watching this one dude or like multiple people like, oh, how to land gigs on concert photography. This is what you have to send as cold emails, blah blah blah. And I'm sure that even like Amanda, we talked about this together about this one dude. His name is Steven Van. And then
That just name dropped him.
yeah, I'll give us like
Old Govey.
he was at the time he was pretty relevant in this like concert photography scene. So that's the one dude I remember out of like a lot of dudes that I watched. And then I was thinking like, I didn't do any of that because of lab, because they gave me these opportunities. I skipped that like process, and I was just like kind of like feeling really grateful of like where I am right now, of what I wanted. A lot of the things that I wanted to do before lab gave me that opportunity. Or also beyond lab, I gotta give the props to COVID, because he was the one that kind of helped me realize that my previous hobby of like using a camera for photos and videos, I can actually make money from it. And
To be more.
And giving me opportunities in the beginning of lab of, again, what I said about social media marketing, that was like the first few opportunities that I was able to monetize off what I like my career as a graphic designer. And since he gave me the opportunity to monetize on both, he made me realize that I could merge these disciplines together. And that's like really important for me for, I guess, when I finish school. And
Confidence too, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Wow. We're giving too much gas to Coven these days. Like these last like couple podcasts. Like
You know what?
he's feeling himself.
We
He's,
hate you.
he's listening to this. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, those are my minions right there.
If you're listening to this, Coven, fuck you. Yeah.
Fuck you. We hate you. Hope you. Yeah.
He's having a great time right now. I know what he's up to. He's having a great time right now. That's why he's not here.
I don't know, but I think I know.
You know. I mean, beyond that, also I just remember a really funny moment of him being concert videographer.
What's that?
Is that he normally it gets really hot in the concert venue sometimes, so like it's just like really sweaty, and he's like, you held the camera last time.
Yeah.
It's really heavy.
Dude, it's
There's a lot of
fucking
stuff.
heavy.
So he just like will just have a tank top on or wear like a t-shirt, and he's a really vascular guy. So
nurses love him.
he's just pumped up on stage, and he's like walking around stage and everything.
Yeah,
so
he's like all sweaty, like listening and shit.
yeah, I caught someone like filming. They weren't even looking at the. Like, by the way, it's a really big like headliner. You know what I'm saying? They're not even looking at the headline. They paid money to be there to go watch. They're not even looking at the headliner. They're recording him recording them. I just thought it was the funnious thing.
Dude, like the artist is on this side and Jackie's on this side and everyone's looking this way.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
crazy.
like. Any thoughts?
No thoughts. Head
No.
empty, because
No.
like when I'm on stage, I'm not paying attention to any of the crowd. and sometimes not even the person singing. Like I'm so focused on like making sure that my craft is gonna turn out well, and like I know Ryan always tells me, yo, like make sure not to shoot too much because you have a lot of footage to go through. But then because I'm like I don't think I'm at that point to know exactly what I need. I would rather overshoot than undershoot. So I'm so focused on the composition. If this angle is like good enough, and I'm thinking about like when it's edited and post and how the artist would use it himself. Like, oh, is there enough angles? I think this. Oh, I should run to the crowd right now. Oh, this is a popular song. I need to be on stage. So my mind is always going.
Yeah, you're everywhere.
And I say like I don't truly get to experience the concert until I'm editing it. I'm like, Yeah.
That kind of sucks though, I guess. You're not really like in that moment. But, like you're the most in the moment, but at the same time you don't get to experience it yourself.
Yeah, like I will have moments of breather when I'm like on stage and like, oh, I'm already at an angle and like I get to finally just look at the person performing. I'm like, it makes me smile sometimes. But for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, you're locked in.
Only like, especially when you were performing too. I'm like, when I was watching it, I'm like, damn, you played that song? That was a really good song. I wish like I really paid attention.
Damn.
But yeah.
That's cool.
Damn. What a soldier.
Lab soldiers, rise up.
Rise up.
I mean, beyond that, I feel like some of your guys' work is also like kind of behind the scenes underappreciated. Whether it be like you doing set design in some of the shoots, music videos, things like that, or like even just your role as a producer. Sometimes like you don't get to shine in the front, and then for you like graphic design, marketing, these things like no one credits the.
Yeah.
No one's looking at the Coke logo and be like, I know exactly who did that. Maybe the more famous ones, but like no one looks at a logo and be like, oh, I want to know the person behind that, right? It's just like an entity.
It's
right?
only like the other like graphic designers or the other producers.
Yeah, that are like,
The freaking
who did
nerds.
this? Who produced this?
You know,
Things like that.
not the cool kids. Nah.
How do you guys feel like sometimes you're so deep into it, like your life is, you spend a lot of time and sweat into like your craft and things like that, and sometimes it's not as appreciated as it should, or maybe I don't know how you guys feel about it, but walk me through your thought process sometimes when you do all these like behind the scenes work, like how fulfilled you feel, or do you wish sometimes you are appreciated more, or like people in the audience kind of like know that you did this more?
Do you want to go first? Did you have anything to say first, or?
Oh, I'm formulating. I'm marinating.
I guess I can start. I think deep down, it would be nice to like receive some recognition for it, but I also realized that like it's kind of hard to ask for when, especially from like an audience where it's not like their craft or they don't really understand the industry. So it truly is like if you know, you know, because even for us, like we didn't really know like much about title cards and stuff like that, right? And it's only when I saw like people like, or this current trend, oh, I did this title card for like Drake and blah blah blah, all like, and that blew up. I'm like, oh, like even like as a graphic designer myself, I didn't really pay attention to title cards, but it is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I see the title cards you make for the music video, or like work with Coben to make, I'm
So
like
sick.
really impressed every time. I'm like, wow. You never feel like it's that important of an addition, but I actually look forward to the title cards now.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too. Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what do they cook up this time?
I see somebody else's that's not
Yeah.
Jackie. I'm like, yo, that's dog shit.
Yeah,
Yo,
it's
check
like,
out
it's just not as
our
good.
boy.
But yeah, if you really think about it, like let's say a 2-3 hour work for like a 1-2 second like frame in the video, it's like that's the work that's like unappreciated, right? But I guess like my current mentality is I'm not really looking for that like gratification or like that recognition yet. I'm still like in the process of trying to enjoy my own work. So
Enjoying the process.
Yeah. So as long my homies enjoy it like so far, then that's kind of what matters to me. But definitely that like mindset will shift once for bigger projects. For example, like I guess if I were to do like entire music video, then I would want it like that. Or if for like the store that we're
Creative
opening.
direction,
Yeah. So for bigger projects, definitely.
How about you?
I can't speak for like everybody that's like working in the creative industry. But for me personally, like it's just like a privilege, like you were saying on like, other episodes and, just our conversations, like it's really a privilege to be surrounded by so many people that are like around the same age, that have like similar come ups, that like kind of get it. And to be able to like even contribute like a little bit to that vision is just like, man, I'm so lucky. Like I want to put my hands on it as much as I can, not because like I want the glory, but because it's like, yo, this is somebody's vision.
Why are you
That-
smirking, bro? You just
He said, "Put my hands on it." I was like, "Oh shit."
I'll put my hands on you
Shit.
later.
No, on
Off
camera
camera.
right now.
Patreon. That we don't have.
Premium content.
That we don't have. It doesn't exist. We're just doing it for fun.
Oh, it wasn't recording.
Aw.
Oh yeah.
No, but it's like someone's like creative vision. It's someone's like baby that I feel very blessed to be able to like take a part in. I think when it comes to the aspect of like, you know, looking for the glory and all that kind of stuff, it's just like, yo, like there's gonna be a million strangers that like just don't care. Like that's just inevitability. But I think part of it too is me being in a team where I feel like I trust everybody and everyone. I see what everybody does and everybody sees what I do, and we all acknowledge each other, and we all have that like that trust in each other that no one's gonna be like, oh, I took credit for all this. You know?
Yeah, I mean, when you say that, it is. Lab is such a blessed thing to be in. I always say, like, one of the things I really ground myself in is the thought that there's not many opportunities that I will have, or anyone will have, where you get to see and work with like 8 other people also around the same age, also like understands what kind of background you grew up in, because they also grew up in a similar background and had a similar life, and from the same area, that are all at this moment in their life willing to put time aside and put, maybe like you don't make as much money doing lab work as you would like taking another commission, but you decide to spend your time on these projects that we think of in lab, to be on the same page, to want to work as hard on these projects as if it was your own project, is such a privilege and such a blessing to be in, that like, yeah, maybe this thing will end at some point. We don't know, right? I mean, we're just all doing our best right now. But if I ever had to look back at a time in my life to be like, wow, that was such a fun time and such a blessed time to be in, it would definitely be like these last couple of years working at lab, and hopefully years in the future, right?
Facts.
Yeah. And as you said, you have everyone. As much as I would love sometimes the audience to like appreciate like the people behind the scenes working and things like that, it's just like they're just consuming the product. They're just consuming what's in front of them. They don't necessarily, if they think it's good, it's like a great thing at the end of the day. They don't necessarily understand what's happening behind the scenes unless you really know. Honestly, like for video stuff, like being on set, I really didn't know a lot of the background processes myself until I was on a set and really understood, like, wow, there's so many people who I'd never get to see, like filming music videos or filming alive, that I get to see them all like work hard. And if that person wasn't there, like a grip or a gaff or an AC wasn't there, like the production doesn't run very smooth at all, if running at all, you know?
Facts.
So, you know, lab really gave me, or opened my eyes to these things and really made me appreciate even more like the people behind the scenes, myself, and beyond, you know, wanting other people to appreciate these things. So yeah, it was a really cool, eye-opening experience myself.
Yes, not to mention, you directed one too. Remember that?
I did, yeah, I did a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a lot of help though. I directed it, but I didn't really direct it. I didn't feel like I mean, I directed it for sure. But, you know, I think another thing about lab is just, there are a lot of people that can help you make things happen. So if I didn't know something, I would just go straight to Ryan, like his advice and things like that. Or even during the shoot, like Amanda and things were there, and like I asked her, like, do you think this looks good? Do you think we should have like done it from a different angle and things like that? So I'm not looking to direct at all. I think directing was really fun, and I'm sure you guys have fun yourselves, but it's definitely not something I'm looking to do more in the future. If the opportunity comes up, I would love to, you know, but it's a really hard job.
It is pretty hard.
Yeah. So for you guys, do you have any dream projects that you want to do yourselves? You know, one dream project that I have is like shooting like food docs. And it doesn't even have to be related to what you're doing now or something, but just something you really want to do at some point in your life.
Oh man. Do you have any, Jackie?
You guys don't dream?
I think right now,
No ambitions?
No, aphantasia.
Oh, okay.
most of my like small scale streams have been realized through lab.
Wow.
So whether it was directing a music video, being introduced to the film industry, I'm already like, lo and behold, we're opening a store,
Yeah.
right? So like these are
Facts.
things that I wouldn't have been able to have like imagined like 5 years ago. So I think right now I'm more focused on my current skill set than to formulate a dream. But if I were to talk like a long scale dream, would it be working with people like DPR, perhaps?
Ooh. Okay.
Like I don't see like self-producing.
I heard
video,
they had a position open recently. But
Wait,
you
what?
You didn't hear
Yo,
that from
DPR
me.
Ian? Hello.
There's some drama. You can read it up yourself. Something happened.
Anyway, but like I don't see myself doing it right now. But I think we can all like attest for like the way that they think and operate, and we really want to aspire to be that. So it'd be nice to work with them. I'm not saying like work for them or like produce a video for them, but I just want to know like what the sauce, right? But I think one thing that I would want to achieve in my life is just personally design my own house and build it.
House.
Damn.
Oh.
So like,
oh, dude, your
yeah.
house would be sick if you actually built it.
You already know.
Yo, the man cave.
The man cave for real.
I know it smelled crazy in there.
Every room.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to think of anyone designing their own house and would really know what they're doing, it'd definitely be you.
Facts.
Why don't you go into like architecture or something then? I guess it's a little bit harder. Not just
Yo.
did you try?
In order to get into architecture, you need to be good at math. Therefore, in high school, you need to take physics. I took physics. First day of class, they give you like a math review to see what you remember. After that class, I went to guidance. I'm like, yo, I need to drop this.
Get me out of here.
My dreams for architecture is gone. Ted Mosby? Nah,
First
that's
day.
not me.
Oh, that's true. You do need to. You need a little more science in the
Yeah.
architecture, not just the
Exactly.
drawing part.
All right.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, what's your dream?
My dream. I want to see the world because of my music. Whether that be on tour or because the music is able to fund it, or just like having to be in a place at a time, for the purpose of music, like anything. Just want I just want to live life more.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it would be great to be able to. I think one of the main reasons why I really enjoy being in the creative scene as well is that you do have opportunities sometimes or one, you're not grounded to any particular place in general. Like some of our, especially nowadays, like a lot of our work can be done online and just we don't have to be there present, so you can go anywhere and still do your work, right? Another thing is you do have opportunities to be able to travel or go somewhere else to be able to do your work as well. And that's one of the things that I really look forward to. I love traveling. It's definitely been a privilege for me personally to be able to afford to or have time to travel and see the world. But it's one of the main reasons I like that is traveling gets me so inspired. I feel so stagnant if I just stay in one. I love Toronto so much. Can't be here for too long. I just feel so like stuck and stagnant. Like I have to travel anywhere, and like just seeing people's day to day. It sounds like mundane, but like I literally just seeing like a 9-to-5 salary man working in Japan like was inspiring.
Nippon man.
Maybe in a way, it was just like I don't want to do that ever in my life, but at the same time, it's like wow, this is how people grind here. This is the way people live their lives. And I don't want to experience that, but it's really cool to see and see like the way society and culture works in a different part of the world. And traveling and working in the creative industry has really let me be able to see that. So it definitely is like an amazing thing.
Wait, sorry, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Sorry, I'm not trying to like put down your point.
No.
But it reminds me of that meme where it's like, like thing that happens like in North America. Oh, okay, whatever. Thing that happens in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's not just Japan. It's not just Japan. All right. It's like anywhere, even in Vancouver, within Canada.
No,
like the pace is so much slower. You get to see all the mountains. They have a beach.
I agree with that though. I think to be like a little bit more abstract in like that whole concept is just like you go to these different places and you kind of like are able to see like different colors, like different tones of how things are, even if it's like the same thing. And once you're collecting all those like different colors, you're able to paint like more vivid portraits. You're like collecting information.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, you're like a Vel'Koz.
Yeah. In what way?
He like destroys shit so then he can like gain knowledge.
My league lore is not that deep.
Damn.
Wow, that's for the league fans out there. That's for you, I guess.
Shit,
All I know
my
is
fault, my fault.
he's really annoying in ARAM, and I dislike playing against him. That's all I know.
Damn, just get good,
Sorry, I don't get Tom Kench every time. What can I do?
man.
What your point about not only is you're experiencing more, you can because you put yourself into the music as you gain experience. And I noticed this. I don't know if you guys noticed this as you gotten older, like as your art matures, you feel like, or as you mature yourself, your art matures. You know, you really feel like your understanding of the world or the things you've experienced, emotions wise as well. Like you have a more nuanced, put together take. You have more colors to put on your palette into your art. So it definitely, I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I definitely feel that myself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. How do you feel like that has changed your art though? You know, as you've grown older, you know, realized certain things in your life, or maybe some things didn't work out, some things worked out, and things like that. How do you find that, like, as you grow up and mature and things like that? How do you feel like that has changed your own art or your own outlook maybe on art?
I think before, when I was like first starting out as a producer, I like put myself into like the grind set mode, you know? I was just like, yo, like just put your head down.
Sigma grind set.
Yeah, Sigma grind set.
As Ryan says.
On some real Sigma grind set shit. You know, where it's just like, you know, grind over day in, day out, you know, never take a break, never stop, never breathe. And it came to the point where like I put my head so far deep underground that I just like you know, my partner, Jess, she likes to use this analogy a lot where it's like you have a cup that is just like empty, you know, and you know, you can keep trying to pour it out, but like there's nothing. And you know, I kept even trying to search for like tiny water droplets, but there was like nothing coming out at all. And it really wasn't until I met her where she kind of taught me or she like guided me towards the idea of like, yo, you gotta like breathe a little bit, you gotta like live life, see more. Like you can still work hard, but you just can't like do this to yourself.
Yeah, that can't just be like the only thing you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, after that point, like, you know, she helped me fill up my cup more, you know, help me see more and love more and appreciate more things about life, and things became a lot more vibrant.
That's sweet.
You know.
This is not a topic, by the way. He just said that.
Yeah, paid ad, by the
way. Yeah, actually, no. I had that specifically written in the script for you to say, so didn't really. I don't know. I had to think of it for him.
Got it.
How about you?
I think this is something that maybe I'm not very thoughtful in, or I haven't given it enough thought. But the way that I see it is, it's not really right now of how myself changes in towards it, but I see it as a combination of new skills, knowledge, and my own tastes that I'm developing. Because you can definitely see a progression between the work that I created 3 years ago and now. And I can only put this in terms of like my strength as a designer, or like how much knowledge. And something that I learned about recently about a lecture that I heard about in school. So like,
yeah, maybe I should pay attention.
I try.
Like,
you know,
okay.
when I'm there, I try.
Yeah.
So he gave me, my prof told me about the process of getting your PhD in design, or at least in any PhD, you have to read like 100 books, and you have to list those books, and that's kind of like you spend like a period of time off, like after like your research question, blah blah blah. They give you a time to just load up on knowledge, to become a master of your subject.
That's insane.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, and from what I'm like exposed to of designers, they usually have like bookcases of just books of like, if for me like grid systems, hierarchy, whatever, color books, references, and you're truly like, it shows that like in physical form how much you're dedicated into this.
Wow.
So I'm like, where's my bookcase? Why haven't I started? So
okay,
I'm not at that point where I'm like super, like I wouldn't say I'm cracked at it, or I'm hungry to learn more. So that's where I am.
I guess you don't really physically need books.
Yeah,
I felt a lot of the knowledge you gain, even like TikTok, bro.
I
learned so much things on FL Studio just watching TikToks that I've ever had in my life. Just watching
Facts.
FL Studio tutorials on TikTok.
Yeah, but it's different for designers because like we need it's different from like screen and print, so
Mm.
it's kind of necessary for like people in the art industry or like visual industry, like craft, design, art. Okay, to know what it looks like in person,
Mhm.
and like there's a lot of references from the past that like aren't digitized. And like for example, if you're designing a menu or like a pamphlets of sorts, you need to know how it looks like in person, and like it's just so many different ways that you can interact with it. So beyond a screen, you just need physical stuff.
Mm.
I
Okay.
like
Yeah, I
touch
can
it,
see.
smell it,
Yeah,
taste it,
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, does it
Like
work
it.
well? Is it waterproof?
swallow it,
Swallow?
insert it.
Spit. All right.
I was just mesmerized by this conversation.
Sorry, we were in our own world.
Sorry.
Just got lost in his eyes. Need a map to get out.
Dude, I know I kind of knew that this was gonna happen if we were gonna talk. to each
Honestly-
other. This is what we just shoot the shit normally, anyways. It's hard to have serious.
We're shooting the shit.
conversation.
I'm serious.
We
man.
should be surprised.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. You're serious.
We're surprised. Like, what? 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in, that it took this long for it to come out.
It's like
So
shaking.
outlandish.
Homoerotic energy. Oh god.
Okay, how am I supposed to segue from there? Come on, man.
All right, segue.
Oh, wait,
Let's go.
speaking of homoerotic energy, how's your work-life balance?
Oh man.
No, seriously, how's your work-life balance? Because you're talking. I mean, I guess it was you. You have school, you have work, you
Mhm.
opening up a shop, a lot of things like juggling at the same time. Sometimes when I hit you up, I'm like, "Hey, can I get this in like tomorrow?" Sorry, oops.
Yo, if the homies want it by Amazon Prime, I will
Yeah,
deliver Amazon
Jackie's
Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Same-day
I'm
delivery.
so bad doing it. You could just say no.
You post
I want
the-
you to understand. You can just say no. It's okay.
Yeah, I understand, but like if
Yeah.
I really am able to do it, then most likely I will do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and it's fun for me too.
Yo, Jackie's that guy.
That guy.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys kind of like? Do you have strategies for like work-life balance, or do you have a certain mentality, the way you think about it, or you just have really good time management?
This is definitely something that I had to develop in terms of, because I was a really bad student and I significantly a lot better now, but it took like a long process to get here. And the skills that I developed in trying to manage that is super applicable to work as well. So it really comes down to just like self-discipline and knowing like exactly what you need done. So prioritizing things. So because of my procrastination and like, just like unorganizedness, I went through a lot of methods to try to tackle this down. So for example, like I started reading on like atomic habits or how to change your habits, blah blah blah, and like I can't operate off motivation anymore. I need to know, like, think far in advance and allocate time. So that's why I use Notion. I introduced Lab to Notion. That's how I kind of put our initial framework together, and I still to this day like use it and religiously use calendars.
That's something I picked up recently.
Yeah.
Just putting everything in my calendar. I can't live without it now.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
like once you experience how organized and like less like these ultimately are tools to help lessen your stress, right? And what's something I live by is like I get over, or I would say that things always seem bigger than they are in terms of like all your workload and stuff. And the way that I found to kind of like lessen that is take a step back and break things down step by step. So if you have one project, literally I write it down. Oh, project 1, make mood board, do research. Okay, draft 1, and I make those check boxes. So I like those small victories. Like
So you
Eventually.
feel like, oh, I accomplished something. you know?
yeah, but it's
You
the fact of
motivate
breaking
yourself.
it down. It just makes it less overwhelming for you.
It's like a game.
Yeah.
I do that for chores. When it's like an errand day, I'll just like, okay, I'm gonna start with the easiest thing. So I feel
Yeah.
like I accomplished something, and then I'll build up to the harder things or more complicated things.
Once you get on the roll,
Yeah.
Yeah, you get bonus points.
Yeah.
the multiplier.
Yeah, the brownie point multiplier.
Yeah. But ultimately, also forgive yourself if you're like you can't achieve this day. Then like, all right,
Yeah,
like
that's such a huge thing.
Oh, that's hard. Such a hard thing to do, though.
Yeah.
yeah, but don't be too forgiving. As in like, yeah,
Sound like my parents.
I don't know, cause it's like, oh, 15-minute nap, but another 5 minutes.
It's like
Yeah.
your parents are like, you should rest, but don't rest for too long. You still need to work and make a living. Like, okay, mom.
Eventually, you'll find your own balance, right?
Mm-hmm. How about you?
Facts. No, I feel like the work-life balance is just like it's never ending, you know,
Mm.
because there's always gonna be like another thing to work on. There's always gonna be another thing that catches my attention, and honestly, I don't really know necessarily what it means to rest. I think it means to step away from the work. But even when you're stepping away from the work, you're like kind
You're
of
thinking about it.
Yeah, you're
But
thinking
not,
about
so
it.
you're not really resting.
Yeah, never. I feel like for artists, like rest just like isn't necessarily a thing, where it's not really a thing. You know,
That sounds so bad.
it sounds bad, but it's also like, yeah, there's like really shitty things that you gotta do. You know, you gotta clock in, clock out. You gotta like do a bunch of chores. You gotta do this. But I think a lot of it is also, maybe that's just coping, but I think a lot of it is just like being able to find beauty in the mundane things. And like I said before, where it's like you're taking different colors, so then you can use it in your palette. It's like find beauty in the mundane life. Find beauty in the everyday. You know, during your commute, during, you know, conversations with your friends, all that kind of stuff. It can add up to a lot. And I don't know how related this is, but I was reading this book recently called like The Artist's Way, and it's just talking about like
By who?
people. I forget the name.
Oh,
I just remember the title.
Did you really read it?
Yeah. No, I'm reading it right now.
Okay.
I'm reading it right now.
Coven Way.
Going with
I would like to read a book he writes one day. I would love to read it.
It's just a bunch of swear words. It's just like
no, it's
fuck
just empty.
over-
There's nothing. It's just
and it's self-portrait.
the art of the deal, Coven Way. It's just blank.
So it's essentially like romanticizing your daily life.
Kind of, in a way. But what they said in the book was like, you know, it's that concept of like, oh, you know, pain is necessary to make great art. And the way that they framed it was like, it's not 1,000% necessary, but pain is the thing that makes it so that you highlight the really great things. It makes you focus on the great things. You know, and those things still exist in everyday life, but it's like if everything is kind of like the same tone, then it's very hard to pick out, you know, those beautiful moments.
Yeah, that's true. You seem to have some epiphany over there. Oh. Can't have shit in Detroit.
Yeah, fucking keep your burp. Give me that shit.
You know, I feel like I've been asking a lot of creatives about like the work-life balance thing, and then just like somehow no one has an answer, or the answer is always different.
It's like impossible, honestly.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the life of an artist. You know, that's in order to go towards something greater. Like there's sacrifice that needs to be made. Like for the regular 9 to 5, where it's like you keep your work at work. If you want that peace of mind, then go for it. But if you want to express yourself and you want to, you know, see the world or like see millions of people or just connect with a bunch of people, like it takes like almost all of your day.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, I think these things are like they weigh heavily over a long period of time on your mental, things like that. But at the same time, I don't have to work 9 to 5, so it's great. My hours are my hours. You know, I do it when I do it. But because they're uncapped, it's like you do have days or periods where like I'm just doing it every day.
Yeah.
When does this stop?
It's the trade-off, really.
Yeah. So something I've been asking everyone, but what advice do you guys have for young creatives or, you know, creatives just starting out? Any advice in terms of what they should be looking out for? Just advice in general that you guys have learned, lessons and things like that. I would say for us specifically, maybe we haven't been in the industry for that long, but we started like earlier than most people. So you definitely have your own experience. But I think it's a great perspective to come from people who may not have started out or not. I feel a lot of podcasts, when you listen to them, these guys they're just industry titans. They've been there for a long time, and they're sort of taking back the curtain, showing you the process, telling you what they experience. But for us, you know, we're in the trenches right now. Like we're doing it right now. We're also learning and trying to figure things out ourselves right now. So I think for people starting out, this is even better point to get perspective from, you know? So like kind of what perspectives or thoughts do you have and advice to offer for these people?
I guess to answer this question, I would have to address the problems of like a creative, or at least how to get there, and then maybe offer a solution of how at least I achieved it or tried to address it. And one of the things I think that was a big obstacle to my progress in my career would be kind of like imposter syndrome, or like the idea of perfectionism. You're not ready yet, therefore you're not ready for the bigger game, and that kind of stopped me from chasing opportunities or even finding opportunities for myself. Because to this day, I still don't have my portfolio, right?
Okay.
And
Really?
yeah, I
Yeah.
still haven't created it.
Okay.
That's wild.
That definitely is a result or a product of my perfectionism, or like thinking that my work is not there yet, especially in like, I feel like my video and like photo camera stuff has gotten to that point, but I don't feel that my design has got there. Despite like the things I've already created, I'm really hard on myself when it comes to that. I'm like, if I was a recruiter myself, would I be wowed by this work? And I don't think I have those pieces of work yet, which is why I'm still waiting for this one project that I'm doing, and then I'm just gonna push it out. But so back to like the main thing about perfectionism is just the more that you're gonna be hard on yourself and like wait for that right moment, as you said before, the more it's gonna be like it's gonna run away from you. So kind of like what people say about you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? That's like an embodiment of that. So especially when I said that, like COVID or lab was the one that kind of pulled me out of that like depth to fully give me like just throw me out there. Like even though I have not done things before, I haven't done social media marketing, I haven't done like these promotional posts before, or I've never done concert photography for that point. But like just the fact that like I'm in there, just experience it like in the real workforce, that I learned there the most.
Learn by doing.
Exactly.
And the only time there's no perfect time to do. You just got to do it.
Yeah, I'm not telling people to fake it until you make it, but you definitely learn.
But you might have
more.
to.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes if that's what you gotta do to like land a gig, then so be it. But I'm sure that like that gives you more motivation to like be accountable for your actions and actually pick up those skills that you need to perform this job.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think perfectionism and like imposter syndrome, like they definitely just like take such a, like a stronghold. You know what the worst is?
What?
It's like imposter syndrome of imposter syndrome, where it's like,
Oh, it's like, is me feeling like I have imposter syndrome, like imposter syndrome? Like, should I even feel?
yeah, it's like, oh, I don't even deserve to have imposter syndrome.
Oh my God.
Wait, I can't even wrap my head around that.
Where
It's
just
like,
oh,
I feel shame in feeling that I should have any shame in the first place.
yeah, exactly.
And like in this, because imposter syndrome implies that like you feel like you don't belong. Like you feel like your success is not warranted. Like someone else can replace you, or like someone else deserves it more.
Oh,
Like you're
okay,
inadequate.
Okay.
But then that leads to more shame
Yeah.
of like, why am I even feeling this way? I'm not even accomplished anything.
Yeah, why did I think I was in the league in the first place?
Yeah.
I'm not even a bench player. I'm not even a spectator.
I'm not even the water boy.
Yeah. I'm not even in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I'm like at home.
Not the park.
I'm like watching TV.
You're the hater on Ethan's video.
No.
Oh! That
You
makes sense.
didn't understand. The big lips comment was because I was like turned on, you know?
Oh, he took it the wrong way.
Yeah, he took it the wrong
Yeah,
way.
that was a hater comment. But it was
Yeah,
actually
he
out
thought
of
like, you got some big lips. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, you got some big lips.
soft, supple.
But no, I think advice for young creatives, this is mostly towards myself, I feel like, where whenever you're trying to do something creative or you want to go into this field, you got to learn how to love yourself first, like ultimately. And one, that helps to make it so then whatever you put out into the world, it's like impenetrable, because then you know exactly what it means to you.
Mm-hmm.
But two, it teaches you to love others, and it teaches you how to love things. And ultimately that brings more color into your life.
Wow. What if I can't love myself? Speaking from a commenter, random. Not because I can't love myself right now.
I'm sorry, you're just fucked.
No, I'm asking for a
No.
friend.
If you don't know what it means to love yourself, then, do the best you can. Try to figure it out. There's always a way.
Hmm.
Love ultimately means sacrifice, but it also means acceptance.
Mm-hmm. I was watching that develop this entire time.
Yeah, I like saw your eyes shift. I'm like he's right behind
I
me,
was trying
isn't
to
he?
listen to you, what you're saying. And then, yeah, I'm also seeing what's happening behind you.
He kept talking about
This is why
love.
we can't have serious conversations.
Oh
man.
God.
There's always
Oh
some
man,
fuckery
your thigh's so
happening.
grabbable, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Oh,
need
my.
cut. We're at time. We need cut. We need cut. All right.
All right.
I always say this at the end, but once again, appreciate you guys coming on. I hope
Thank you for
that
having
our
us.
conversation has provided, of course, has provided some insight, into what it means to be a creative, different disciplinaries. Again, we're also young creatives doing it right now. We've been doing it for a couple years or for a long time for others. But at the same time, we're still young. We're still learning a lot of things, still experiencing a lot of things. So, I'm still learning on this podcast. People on this panel are learning themselves, either about themselves or the industry or whatever. So we hope that whoever's listening, that you pick something up yourself as well. And that's all we can really hope for, So appreciate it. Yeah.
And with that being said, I think also the purpose of the podcast is not just for you to gain insight by listening, but it kind of gives you an opportunity to message us if you have questions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or laugh.
Yeah, message anyone.
DMs
message
open.
them specifically. Their ads are going to be flashed up. You just DM them. Anything. Whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be creative related.
No nudes, please. No nudes.
So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening. And bye-bye.